We're back here with the second map between Misfits and Renegades, and it is shaping up to be a really good one. We saw Misfits get off to a good start there over on Train. However, they did go the distance and eventually grab the W on Train in overtime. But we're going to Mirage now, and things are seemingly could be a little bit different.
Yeah, Mirage has been one of the more popular picks for Misfits, actually, you know, so far in this season of EPL. But, you know, that doesn't mean that Renegades have been bad at it by any means. So it should be interesting. Both, I think it's a debut, actually, for both teams going into this map. At least it is for Misfits.
Well, let's take a look at a singular Misfit. That is Eric DeBear Stromberg. He's going to be running us over a little bit of Misfits as Mirage.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Stromberg Strategy, and we're going to take a look at Shazam, the player, not the genie from that great movie way back in the 90s. Let's go. Let's go. As you see right here, it's on second round. He's an ump. Guys, don't go towards the opper. If you know an opper, especially Misfit, Shazam, he's going to be opping, guys. Let's avoid middle. How about that? Let's avoid his spot so he doesn't rack up all these kills, get so much money, buys an op second round in this match, let you know. But right here, later in the game, Misfits doing great. Shazam, he's just opping people like crazy. You don't usually see oppers in default op spot on Mirage. And well, that's the thing with Shazam. He's in random spots with ops. He's an aggressive player. He loves to peek. You give this guy spacing and kills early game, it's going to snowball into a monster in late game. As you see, he's going to just boom, hits a shot, just make it. It's just too good. Like, don't feed this guy. Don't feed this guy kills on egos. Okay, he's the type of player. He's the type of person to eat his own cheese platter at his party. I mean, that's the type of guy he is. I mean, look at him. He's hungry. He's hungry. Just don't go to him on egos, please. Thank you. Back to you guys.
All right.
Eric.
I think I saw some striking similarities there too between the two of them.
Wow, yeah. No, I love that. Like, he's the kind of guy who eats his own cheese, like eats his own cheese platter at his own parties. Like, Eric has been at some parties, to put it that way. He's seen some things.
Eric has seen some cheese platters in his day. I can tell you that. But the biggest cheese platter of all, let's talk about the Blue and Days combo, because we're going to be going into this action here real shortly. How are you guys doing over there?
Good. Hanging in, as usual.
Triggered, yeah. Per the usual. Who's taking this one home on Mirage?
Ooh, I think Renegades. I still do think Renegades is probably the better team.
Does it concern you that they haven't really played Mirage with the new squad? You know, obviously in an official, they probably practiced it quite a bit. But
hold on. What really concerns me is what is Blue's prediction? No one ever asked Blue.
No, that's
Blue,
true.
how you doing?
Well, isn't that your job, though?
What's going on? Well,
I'm just the play-by-play commentator. You never need mine.
You got to diversify, Blue. You got to give us your prediction.
Renegades, probably, to be honest. They've thrown a lot of good stuff on this map in the past. And I feel like
I think they're pretty solid on this map. And I think Nifty's actually. I think his best map is Mirage. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we will hand it over to you guys from here, and we appreciate you per the usual.
All right. Thank you very much, Sonny. Yep, we will indeed take it from here and get ready to jump into...
That was the sound of a man that wants to sit on that couch. So let's send it over to the casters. Production didn't even want to. They wanted them to keep talking.
We're ready to keep having a conversation.
He called them up. He's like, casters, man, I've done too much around here.
Just made the executive decision for himself. Well, yes, again, it is going to head over towards Mirage here, and we're going to see the continued set between the Renegades and the Misfits continue to play off. Just waiting for the last few players to jump back into the new server and get ready up, and then we will be going live with it. Should just be another minute or so, and then we'll jump back into it. But yeah, I mean, I still think this is a really good map for the Renegades, and I would agree with you that they would actually take this one for Misfits. They've always shown themselves to be pretty lackluster here, to be completely honest, so I'm not expecting anything huge from them on this map.
Yeah, I mean, I thought a lot of things went Misfits' way that game. I mean, they won both pistols, right? Sean with that incredible clutch on that CT side, winning the T pistol. I mean, Renegades had their rounds as well, but both pistols helped them a lot. I'm telling you, helped Misfits a lot.
Yeah.
And we'll see if that happens again. But Renegades, on this T side Mirage, they do a lot of interesting things a lot of the time when it comes to just like how fast they play. So we'll see if they still implement that or if they try to slow it down more. They seem more diversified now that they have Nifty though. He's kind of calmed them down a bit. not just a bunch of crazy Aussies
just rushing into the site every round. Yeah, I think Nexa is going to be pretty good here too, especially on like CT side.
Do you know anything about him? About his history?
About his history? No, I've only seen what we've seen of him like on this team so far.
What is he?
Serbian.
Oh, he's Serbian.
He's Serbian. I think it's part of the reason why they boot camped in Serbia.
They boot camped in Serbia?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Like
when did they do that?
Like a month or two ago, I think.
Just no way.
No, yeah, they were there for like 2 or 3 weeks.
A month or two ago, they had Uber.
1 week.
1 week after they announced Nexa, they did boot camp?
Yeah.
But did they play in like a tournament or anything?
No, I think they were just there like scrimming against teams.
Just a casual boot camp?
Yeah. I don't think they played any. No! Did they? Was it Star Ladder? I think it was. I think they played in Star Ladder. I think they boot camped for that. Yeah, it was like a week before. It was like a week or two before Star Ladder, I think. They boot camped over there for that. So, but anyway, back into the action now, as they're going to move into it. And Azur just snipes the first kill right off of Shazam, taking him down. That's early mid control, restored to the CTs, and is going to splinter the remaining Ts here. They've got 2 pushed up towards the apartments, 2 more kind of split in Palace and the ramp. So now they've got to figure out how exactly they're going to try to solidify. I think the original plan was to send these guys back down through underpass and then group up, take mid control, and then do the usual A pinch. But that's not really going to work out so well anymore, since they'll only have underpass control, and there could be anything waiting for them outside of that without top mid presence. So now they've got to try to change up the game plan a little bit here. Still more than likely going to lead to an A
changes what strat they were going to run, as we can clearly see. So it looks like now they're just going to go back into like an A exec and just a really, something we see all the time. They'll probably do right side smokes, and they'll probably push spawn, just staring to, top stairs and jungle smoke. And the good thing about this is they should be able to get the bomb down. Even though there is 3 players there. Sorry, that was actually an Amber alert.
So they're going to push back in, but Jackie has 3 kills out of nowhere from inside of Sandwich, and Azur shuts it down after that. No bomb plant for Misfits, and the Renegades do take the pistol. That scared me. I didn't know what that was at first.
I thought we had like some equipment malfunction.
I thought it was on like fire or something like that at first.
Yeah.
I was like, wait.
The Amber alert, man.
All right, so moving on from that, Misfits no plet, so they're probably going to force into the second round now and just go for like Tech 9 buys.
The funny thing is, I bet you like so many people watching our broadcast are from California, and they probably got the same alert.
Probably. Did I get it? Wait, hold on. I haven't muted.
DJ said Sam.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, really?
No, I didn't get it.
You'll probably get it in a minute.
Maybe because my area code's not a California.
No, because it does it by the cell phone towers.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it did it based on area code. Well,
pretty sure at least.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, actually. Well, it is looking like Misfits are just going to try to go for the B execute now. And trying to send their players in. They do have quite a few smokes. They can try to set up and at least get that extra, at least get like 1 plant to take it in the next round. But we've already got 2 stacked in the site. Another one close to the murder hole that can rotate over pretty quickly. And in a minute here too, unless they execute in the next like 3 to 4 seconds, he still is just going to push up towards ramp and see there's nothing there, and then they'll be able to freely rotate towards B and just read into that. So one guy coming out through underpass now, that's going to be Amanex swinging up towards it. And Shazam also trying to take a little bit of cat control. 40 seconds left. Misfits still are going to be able to lead into this execution here, but overall the actual success of it is probably not looking so good. Azur kills both of the mid guys. Nexa dinks one trying to go towards Van. He's going to try to finish up now, but he's got more pressing things to worry about here as he lights up a second one. Does get traded up by Sick. Overall of the round, very much in the control of Renegades, and they only lose Nexa along the way.
Yeah, great round by Renegades, only losing 1 player. Now it's going to be a full eco by Misfits. They still have a bunch of umps, so should be another really clean round for Renegades and a bunch of money on the board. We'll probably see them keep the umps going into the next round. And the thing about Misfits is they're not going to have an off either on that 4th round unless they're able to get the bomb on.
So now it's looking like Misfits are just going to try to swing their players up towards mid, which actually with this large of a group, they could just overwhelm Azur. So he's got to be a little bit careful. He's got it under control, though. I think he knows there's a big stack here, so he just kind of hides back in the corner, make sure he doesn't get pushed underpass it all. His teammate's got it covered. The flash comes out. He does go down to the last guy there, but he brings him down to 2 HP before doing so he'll get the assist anyway. And now Devoduvek's just alone. Oh, actually, he still messes up there. So Devoduvek's going to skate with one more kill. And now he's got an ump, so he could potentially just sit here and play with the remaining time and try to get a couple of extra kills, or just go out for it and more than likely die, which seems to be the option he's taking currently.
Had his opportunities.
Yeah.
Got like 8 bullets, 10, 12 bullets off.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, Azure, like we said, controls this pretty well. Now we go into the first gun round here. So we're going to get to see what Misfits are actually made of here after Renegades get a good 3-0 start. Or if the CT side is going to continue to dominate things in our second map here, and Renegades will just be able to build up like a huge lead.
Yeah, see here, what I would like to see is Nifty dropping his ump to one of his teammates and then opping up. You know, and keeping 2 umps, 2 M4s, and like an op, and just being economical about the situation. But that's good too, just pushing a ramp and making a 4v5. That's pretty, you know, that's a pretty nice way to start the round.
Yeah, Ustillo again leads the charge on these like aggressive CT plays. He was the guy that pushed T-Con throughout most of trade, and now he's going to be the guy apparently that pushes up towards ramp 2. Trade from Sean though goes on a JKS, but Ustillo just swiping up again from top steps, takes down Devo now and restores the balance into the favor of the Renegades. Now Smoke's going to go up there, so he can't do that again. But also pressure is going to be coming from the mid connector, which they don't seem to have anyone from the CTs actually watching for that right now. So I think Ominek could freely just walk in here to kill you still, unless he just chance checks it. Not going to happen. But actually Ominek messes up here at first. Has him down to 7 HP though. He's not going anywhere. Ominek still is able to follow through with that kill. And now Nexa is going to have to try and retrade onto that player in connector, as there is still an opportunity for them to round back in. Nifty has himself an angle, and it even takes Sean a minute to figure out where exactly Nifty is firing from. Sick trading it back here for the Misfits now, but it seems like the Renegades have things under pretty good control. Sick now alone, and at the very least is going to be able to guarantee the plant. He's got the 1v2 setup, gets himself into a spot to win out that duel versus Nifty, but spends too much time recovering from the bomb plant and getting his gun actually out. So Nifty is able to get that final kill and secure the round for the Renegades.
Yeah, nicely played by Nifty, I think, in that 2v2. I thought Misfits was going to win that. The jungle kill doesn't go Ominek's way. That was like the big turning point in that round. You know, having said that, Renegades, they have to be more aware of that flank, though. Maybe they weren't worried about it because Nifty was flanking on his own, and that's why they weren't thinking about it. But Ustillo and Nexa, one of them has to take control, like the underpass, and really worry about that. You don't want to ever be getting shot in the back. And the flank on Mirage is so, you know, it happens all the time. You should be aware that that's a possibility.
Well, now Ominek being cautious of CT aggression, working his way out against him, since he still is able to get the AK investment going into this round here. And watching out for an Indeed, but
ouch.
That's good damage going on to Nifty. Just jumps forward, though, so Ominek's going to see it, but Ominek just got hit by another massive flashbang. This happened back on, like, the 3rd round, too. So Nifty's able to actually win out in that duel here. Nexa given the time to recover after it seems like he's caught back out. Both Nexa and Azure get away with at least 1 kill each, so still a 1-man advantage to the Renegades on this retake. But Molotov going back in, blocking off cat re-entrance here. Ustillo still trying to kind of push his luck with it and almost lost his head in the process, but thankfully no one really fully spotted him out. So he is able to survive that, and now they just wait out the Molotov. All 3 CT players are moving back in through Cat right now, which actually should make this relatively easy for the Misfits to close out upon, but Smoke's also going to be getting in their way, and this adds some complexity to it. Shazam picking up the first kill, 6 still hit and peeking out. He finds JKS. Now it's just on to Ustillo at 8 HP, picks up 1 kill. 1 more to go, and he already knows, generally speaking, where Sick is hiding out, and he just missed him with that pre-fire there. At the end of the day, though, Sick is able to track down Ustillo, win out the round for the Misfits, and finally put them onto the board.
Yeah, so they're able to get that bomb down the round before, and that allows them to get that 2 buys in a row. So now Misfits is going to be able to buy again after winning that round, but this is going to be the key round. This is going to be a huge swing early on in this game. Whoever wins this is going to go out to winner. You know, Misfits would tie probably, and then Renegades would go out to a very, very big early lead. Nifty gets the ops. The first time we're seeing them off this game. It's going to make middle control a little bit more difficult on Misfits. If anybody did like the cat jump there, he would have been able to kill him. Nifty opping the window though. You're still getting that kill through the smoke. Very nice for him.
Yeah, now Shazam is also going to try to sneak through here as well. Trying to make up for the loss of Sean a moment ago, and hits the shot beautifully.
Nifty's no point in being that aggressive after that 4v5 though.
he sticks around, and they almost lose Ustillo too. He was almost caught up in a spray a moment ago here, so he's still trying to play around with his own position in the connector. And he's going to go out, but ends up flashing himself or getting hit by another flashbang there. Azur has a position to try and change the dynamic a little bit here as he's able to take down Almanek being boosted up inside, but then on the site, JKS goes down without a single kill to his own name. Azur as well eliminated when he tries to push himself into the open. Now it's just Nexa who's going to move into a spot which they may be able to read pretty easily. Sneaking in through jungle here in a second. Sick. Actually could just peek this blindly. Nexa was out of position, but he's still able to recover. Gets that kill. Now they know where he is, however. But at the same time, we don't necessarily have... It's Shazam actually in the best position to counter him out right now. Just going to be waiting on the other edge of the connector here. Nexa knows it though, and yeah, losing himself and trying to hunt down Shazam. So Misfits will indeed close out without any more losses, getting that second round. And that should break the CT's economy here and make the comeback a bit easier.
Yeah, they'll actually probably be able to buy next round depending on how much they spend this round. So not going to be a double save, I don't think, but yeah. So I'm pretty sure they'll buy next round. But Misfits, you know, they got through like the gate, right, where they actually put the CTs on a save and can start to build their own economy. So it's a pretty big turning point in this game.
Yeah, no, Shazam on the hunt again early on here into the window and connector areas as he pushes her fast top mid control. It's the same thing for Sean as well as he moves in there. But Renegades, well, they do send a few players inside. They're not actually going to move out to hold control just yet. They're waiting these smokes down before they actually try to make a move into mid. And we will see that now, but it seems like, for the most part, Misfits were kind of ready for that one. 2-for-1 trade, and Shazam just finds himself into combat, but Sick leaves himself a bit exposed to JKS at the connector area there. Thankfully, the damage that was done allows for Nifty to just be burnt back out. And now, well, JKS lining up another one. First one's a headshot, and then he follows through to close out on Devodivic. Now he's got an AK. No armor sitting behind it, however, and on the site, Nexa loses out on his duel. So this is going to have to come down to an ace if JKS were to clutch it, but without armor, this is going to be a little bit rough. He's got a Molotov, though, so it can, at the very least, if he goes undetected up to the site, can try to flush someone out of position.
Yeah, I don't think he has a chance to win this round, just not having a kit, being in 2v1 with no armor as well. I mean,
so he's probably going to save.
Yeah. So we'll probably save, and it looks like he will. If I was him, I'd actually probably try to set up for an exit, though.
Now trying to make that decision about where the best place to set up would actually be, and he decides.
It's a great round by him, regardless.
Yeah.
Just economy-wise.
Picking up all three of those kills, and I don't think he got any of them with the AK. I think they were all with the PT-50.
Nope, just all with the PT-50.
So great setups from him overall around connector and up on top of the steps at the very end there, but just not enough potential to actually win out this 1v2 here. So he is not going to be able to pick up any of the exits either. Everybody from Misfits went out through the market, so they should all be good to carry their guns into the next round, but the AK at the very least is going to save them a bit of cash going into this gun round, and the damage done certainly primes them for an easier comeback when they do start picking up a few more rounds here, if we assume that they do that on this next gun round.
Yeah, so another important round here. Nifty does have the op again for an AK and 3M4s on the other players. So Shazam taking mid control. Nifty backing out after that top mid smoke. Let's see where he ends up going.
Sick catches an early aggressor from the Renegade side. Ustillo tries to swing through underpass. Definitely not successful, though. In fact, doesn't even do a whole lot of damage, unfortunately. So that's going to be early advantage to the Misfits again, as the Renegades now continue to split up their players in just a 2-2 splinter. They'll keep Azur with watch over both the window room and jungle, so him having to do actually a whole lot of work in this round. Keeping an eye on that, but Sick leaping into the window is going to start to push over here towards Azur, and he's going to check for it, but I don't think he's going to check this close. And no, actually, he's able to recover just in time. Looked like he was going to be a dead man. It definitely looked outmatched in that duel there, but Shazam striking right back, takes down Nifty. They know Azur's still hiding out inside, and now they're just dispatching of the Renegades roster one by one. Next is the last man standing, but he's way over on the B-bomb site, so doubt he's going to even find himself in the action itself. He's more than likely just going to move over, pick up this up, and then fall back to save.
Yeah, Misfits looking good. I mean, punishing Ustillo for his aggressiveness and underpass. They boost into window knowing that it's a 4v5 and there's a good chance that, you know, that player might not be watching it. And although Sick died, he knew exactly where the player was, did about 80 damage to him. And then, you know, his teammates know where he is, right? So it's a pretty easy trade, or they could just bypass him like they did. And JKS just holding CT spawn there, not even able to get a kill. I believe the player out hauls just like one-tapped them.
Yeah, and they are trying to kind of move around the map here to hunt down that op on Nexa right now. However, Nexa seems pretty well secured unless they speed up to a huge degree randomly. I doubt they're going to be able to catch him. So he should be good to make it out of this round alive. Carrying the op-in. It's just unfortunate that the rest of his team is still just a little bit too poor to be able to do anything else. So the op may get itself some armor behind it. That's really all you would expect, though. And the rest of the team, at most, just going for some upgraded pistol armor buys, as we're going to see happening now. And it seems like that holds pretty true here. Nifty actually does have a bit more cash left over, so he is able to get himself a smoke, too, but that's going to be thrown out almost immediately after it's bought. And the rest of the team not getting a whole lot to work with. Nifty, however, playing very aggressively with that op, sitting right at the doorway inside of Palace, scoped in as well. So just waiting to see, and he may actually get himself a bit of a peek. Devo Duvek on that left corner there is still waiting for his own opportunity to go for this, and Ustillo close up. Well, he gets the shot, but somehow it's a miss from Nifty, so he's going to be caught back out on the retreat by Devo. Sean also caught Ustillo close up to the ramp. That's it. The round's essentially over. Misfits already have flooded control of the site. No trades from anybody else that tries to push out aggressively, and the op is lost, so there's no room for recovering that this time.
Yeah, and I really want to see Misfits, if they go in and take like a good lead, not having like any of those bonehead plays, you know, and really correcting things like that. I actually think Peacemaker might be a really good coach for them, just because I don't know if Sean is really confrontational enough to like just like ream people out for plays like that.
Yeah.
They're just like peeking in a 4v2 or anything. And I mean, we even saw Sean make the mistake himself, right? And I know Peacemaker, from all that we've heard, you know, like I don't know the guy personally, but it seems like he's not afraid of like confrontation and things like that.
Yeah.
So that might be something that, you know, Misfits needs. Like you
Kind of kick them into gear.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like you can even tell that you can.
It's not even like kicking them into gear as far as like a motivation or anything as I'm concerned. It's just like, hey, we don't, you don't need to. I mean, honestly, it just comes down to caring about like frags, to be completely honest, and your stats. That's the only reason things like that happen. The only reason.
Well, into the next gun room, we're going to head into probably the combat actually pretty quickly. I'm not sure if Nifty obviously sees the molly, but doesn't see just how many players are going to end up being stacked in these back halls. And the rest of them are trying to set up for a little bit of a smoke toss early on. The bomb is still way over in T-spawn, however, so I highly doubt we're going to see them actually enter the site just yet, as they still have to move Sean back. Molly's again flooding out inside of the apartments is going to cause delay for the Misfits anyway, even if they did decide to move back in. And after they move in to deploy all these flashbangs and whatnot, there's really no follow-up. Nobody tries to push in towards apartments or anything, so Nifty's still going to hold that aggressive position and be like, yeah, no one needs to rotate, this is all clear. And basically all the utility for the Misfits side was just used for nothing. Granted, they didn't use a whole lot, just I think like one smoke and maybe a couple flashbangs and whatnot, but Nifty does spot Almanac can reassert his position at the very least, while the rest of the Misfits are rotating back over towards Palace and the ramp to try executing into A. The setup is already well formed here for these Ts now, so we need to see where exactly they do decide to take this. Nothing has shifted on the Renegades' own defense in the meantime. They still have Azure just watching out for mid presence from Cat, and he can very quickly fall back to B. Obviously, the aggressive position from Nifty. Nifty may actually get caught as they're going to reapply pressure again with nades, and then Nifty missing that first shot too. Now he doesn't know exactly how many are pushing back in. This is where things could get messed up. The CT player at A is being pulled off and moving into market at this point. Almanac also not even trying to find combat. They're just lurking back around over here towards Cat, seeing if he can find anyone. JKS with an aggressive position, but a really good close-up trade from Shazam on the op. And now this is where things are going to get really confusing as Almanac leaps in from mid, fully commits to that spray, but is not going to come out successful. Ustillo takes him down. Devo Duvek and Sean had much better luck here in the actual A bomb site. The bomb is now down on the ground. Azure tries to make a quick move on his own regard, but that doesn't work out. Ustillo, with only 3 HP, is also going to get knocked out by Sean as Misfits take control of the round.
That was like the most successful fake ever. They had 4 players on B, off 2 players faking it, just throwing crisscross smokes on Catwalk. And then he's even able to, I believe it was Almanac, right, push through the smoke to Catwalk and jump into window. So just a ridiculous fake by Misfits, and Renegades bites with 3 players leaving JKS completely alone.
Yeah, I think a lot of that happens.
This is the second time the ramp smoke is missed. I'm assuming that's a missed ramp smoke and not by design.
It looks like.
I mean, it still was able to get a kill before, but I don't know. Maybe it is by design.
Just gives him the room at the very least to do it, but I mean, it's going to be obvious after like the second time it happens. Azert pushing up close this time with the CZ. Finds the first pickup onto Shazam, but then Sick is there. Trades it back out. With this being another pistol upgraded round for the Renegades, obviously that 1-to-1 trade is not going to be too big of a deal for them. We do have Sick now lurking up towards the connector and looking to hold this mid control in a moment. He may try to swing back in, but that could actually be quite dangerous. You can see Nifty's waiting in the underpass right now and could just spin back out and find him waiting there. Oh, he's going to get him for free, actually. That's a pretty big deal. That's mid control, fully back under the control of the CTs all of a sudden. Misfits are still splintered all across the map. Devo Duvek is solo pushing up the ramp currently. Moves in, loses about 20 HP and taking down JKS, but not a big deal just yet. He's trying to distract it. This is what's going to allow his teammates to actually get cleanly onto the A site, as now he's got himself a bit of a shooting gallery set up here. Finds Nifty, takes out Nex as well. Balance being restored over to the team with the much better guns here, as Misfits should at this point be able to close out on the round relatively conflict-free.
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely saved that round for Misfits.
And they get shot in the back of the head retreating, of course. So you still always going.
Did his job, though, Blue.
Yeah.
Got them all to rotate A. Bomb was walking B. There's no way they lose this round. Pretty much impossible for Solo to win, so he's going to save. And, yeah, good job by Devo Duvek. Maybe I'm underestimating the Misfits' power with the new coach and the 2 French players. Because, I mean, 7-4 versus Renegades. Let's see what the money looks like. Thank you. And Flip Knife Floor, I think it's probably worth a pretty penny.
That's a new one, right? There's the money.
Yeah, so, I mean, Misfits has a bunch of money, a bunch of cash.
Sean's at 16K now.
Renegades, of course, is going to get a full buy. But still, I mean, Misfits is in a great spot.
Yeah, now it's just all about not making those mistakes, as you're mentioning, when we see them like switch sides. But this is coming off of, this is actually where they were struggling back in the last map, so they're already much better with their T side over here currently. And picking up, I mean, just 7 rounds on its own is pretty good for Mirage. If they can push it past 8 or more, then they're going to be in good strides, so long as they can keep the CT side as strong as it was back on the last map too.
Before we casted this match, I would say like Renegades was, you know, like I said, if they were going to play a best of 3, I would, before this match and watching it, I would say like Renegades probably win like 7, 8 of them, you know?
Yeah.
If they played 10 times in a best of 3. So, you know, Misfits kind of changed my mind a bit here, man. They're winning pretty handily.
Well, Sick is going to get tested here in a moment. Possibly 2 players from the Renegades pushing in. One from up top behind the smoke. Another one, as you can see, down below on the usual path by the ramp. He's not paying attention to right now. Just pulled out an nade too. However, spotted Ustilla before he committed himself to that push. And I don't think anyone's going to actually end up meeting each other here. Everybody just kind of agrees to back away for right now. As the Renegades will give a little bit of room for the T's to push out towards top mid, which they are going to do with the bomb. Maybe even a 3rd player, as Devo Duvek is retreating back from ramp and is going to regroup here with a couple of these guys. And underpass control has also been taken, so a very mid-focused play coming out this time from the Misfits. But thankfully, Renegades had earlier pressure inside of here, so they're going to be able to resist it a little bit. Still, advantage to the Misfits, but ends up evening out at the end of the day because of the earlier kill that we were able to see JKS grab, I believe, against a ramp player that tried to push back up there, eliminating Shazam. Now the others pushing up towards Catwalk. They're going to go just directly into B here. And I think JKS, even reading into this a little bit early, they start to fall back towards CT. Still no sign of the rotate, however, so at the moment, this is all on Nexa, who peeked for it and immediately just gets deleted by Amanek. So that's, I don't even know if JKS and Nifty are going to go for this now.
Yeah, I don't think you do. I mean, 2v4, JKS has no health. You don't even have a kit.
Yeah, Nexa,
double up. Yeah, it's much better to save here.
Nexa didn't even see that until they were already like halfway up cap.
Too, so. They should be able to get a double op M4 double ump setup, and that's more than, you know, good enough to win a round.
So the ops themselves are going to fall back. They'll give Misfits another round here, and they're going to be able to push their advantage even further, up to 8 here. 3 players surviving more than likely as well. Those ops are actually giving Misfits a lot of room. They're trying to play aggressively and set up for really any kills at all, or just for self-defense at this point. So Misfits looking good, and the Renegades obviously still looking good to buy into it themselves, but Misfits, just with all that cash in the world, they're not going to be too worried about that, just not able to hunt down those last few players. They're now on, I think it's an 8-round streak they've pushed towards at this point, too. This was the first 4 picked up, including the pistol by the Renegades, and Misfits, I mean, basically ever since the 2nd gun round, they've been winning it out since that point. And that wasn't even a full gun round when they started out there. It was just like AKs and I think like a couple smokes.
Yeah, because remember they lost the first gun round that they played, and then they got the bomb down, so they were able to buy up again.
So into the next round here.
I wonder how many like really talented players there are in like, you know, countries like Serbia, for instance, like where Nexa is from, and
well, I mean, it happened.
You know, maybe like Turkey and stuff. I know Zantaris is really good. He's from Turkey, I believe, right?
Yep.
But all these
it happened with
players
Spain last year, because you got Mixwell out of Spain after that
Vol,
ESL,
right?
and Lowell as well.
He's from Spain, right?
Yeah, he went to Mouse Sports. They're both on the same team.
And I mean, those players are available though when you have, you know, just a common language, right?
And I doubt it's like really that. I doubt it's actually that difficult to just get them to begin with. Like I doubt they have huge buyouts or anything on their contracts. So
yeah,
it's just more getting them to commit to like moving to wherever the team is located at. Well, Renegades shutting down this round pretty handily. Sean's gonna try to change up that dynamic a little bit. Somehow he was able to sneak all the way over towards like jungle and steps without being spotted. So definitely kind of gets away with that one and has an advanced position. The real trouble though is going to be that the other half of the site I think is still under the control of the Renegades, at least up until that point when Shazam just hits a nice shot onto JKS. Nifty trading on the Sean though, and there's still a player underneath the platform, and you still off of that position is going to be able to get the easy kill onto Sean. So a little bit of light coming out for the Renegades here in these last few rounds. They'll push on a 5th.
Yeah, Misfits trying to do basically like a full execute. Gets shut down pretty quickly, pretty easily. And good thing for Renegades that they saved the double op in order to get that 5th round. But Misfits does have a lot of money. We'll see if they'll probably like slow it down now. I think if you play against Renegades, one of the things that you should do is, I think it's a lot better to slow it down against them and just wait for any aggression. Because Ustillo gets aggressive at some point in like 60–70% of the rounds, you know? He's going to look for aggression. And you could punish that if you're waiting for it and you're ready for it. Like, kind of have them win rounds for you almost.
Devoduvek catching the first kill nice and easily here against JKS, but you still going to be waiting inside of the sandwich as they're able to spot for some intel up on top, but
great lurk.
Quickly traded back out. You still waiting though, but unfortunately doesn't catch the player that's still up on top of the platform, and Nexa hitting a clutch shot there against Amanek, jumping into the action to be able to pick that one back up, brings us back down to a 2v2. However, in that duel, he got himself heavily injured. He's now down at 20 HP. Misfits have not even committed themselves to the plant situation here just yet, reapplying the smoke before they're able to push back through and check out to make sure there's no additional presence here by the connector itself. But in that time, they're letting these 2 remaining CTs set up to, you know, even prevent the plant from going down. Nifty, peeks into it, was going for the bomb plant originally, but then just flicks up on Shazam. So now it's just on Sick, and they're going to have a pretty good idea of where he's hiding out at to begin with. They've got a Molly. Molly's going to go underneath the platform, so he's still safe inside of Firebox right now. But Smoke could still cover this off. They could try to make it difficult off the bat. That's exactly what they're going to do. What was that from Sick, though? Just flicks onto Nexa out of nowhere. And now he's going to try to wrap back around a little bit. Nifty moving in, taps onto the bomb, but that gives away his position to Sick. Just going to trade out to an additional AK here after he runs out of ammo on the first one and continues to just wait for Nifty to push back up. He moves into it, but gives his barrel away from a mile back. Sick, able to close out in that 2v1, and just like that, Misfits are right back into having the advantage as we go into the 15th round.
What a shot, though, by Nifty, right?
Yeah.
To hit Shazam. That was actually really well played by Misfits in that 2v2. Surprised that Shazam didn't even kill just Nifty outright. So he smoked off jungle. They saw that stairs was kind of clear before. They planted default, but if you notice, to cover him, he went on the balcony. I thought that was really interesting and a very good play. So they know this player is an underpass. Devoduvek evens it out onto Nifty after he gets that kill, and now 4v4, but they should know this player's here.
Yeah, Ominix already looking for Ustillo down below, so just keeping an eye on it to try and punish him. He's got to be a little bit careful of Nexa as well, but I think he just spotted Ustillo, so he knows he's out there, and now it's just about hunting the head. And there you go. Sean's actually going to be the one that moves in, takes the honor from him, takes him down, but still restores the advantage for the Misfits, as now everyone's still up and running for the Renegades, only has a CZ to play with and a little bit of utility here. A single smoke, a couple of flashbangs. They are going to try to just set up really quickly, more than likely to push out onto the site with the bomb. However, now all of a sudden, Azur's run up around the backside against them. That's the bomb going down to the ground. He gets himself an AK. Quick end to that story, however, as Ominek is able to trade it. So the bomb goes back under the control of the T's. Their plan revealed, so probably going to change up the dynamic a tad and head over towards A instead, which obviously, as you can see from the minimap, is the much better option. It's even just an open site right now. So in a second here, I imagine Shazam is probably going to move in through connector 2, but he's waiting this one out, and a good thing about it is JKS holds the cat position, so if Shazam just turns his back and goes into connector there, he's going to find himself dead pretty quickly at the hands of JKS. The rest of the team, though, has seen the open site, so they're moving in, they're taking control, going for the plant, and now it's up to Nexa and JKS to try and win out a 2v3 retake. And Shazam has a big part in this one, spawning it out, gets the shot into Nexa, and closes out on the last kill as well. So there you have it. Misfits indeed start off with a strong start again here in the second map, 10-5 this time on Mirage. And we'll have to see if they can close out a little bit more cleanly this time when the second half resumes in just a few minutes right here at the ESL Pro League.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Legion Lenovo, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. The Renegades get themselves off to a hot start here on Mirage, picking up the pistol along with the first gun round. But then after that, it's a huge streak from the guys on the Misfits here, running, I think, 8 or 9 in a row before Renegades pick up one more round, and the Misfits swing back in to close at the last 2, overall ending up with a 10-5 scoreline at the end of the first half, and Misfits having a lot of control, a much drastically improved T side to what we saw on our last map here. And now, as long as the CT side remains just as strong, in theory, they could have themselves a much quicker closeout to this map.
I mean, hey, Misfits played fantastic that half. They lost pistol, and they were still able to end up winning the half 10 rounds on T-side Mirage, which is generally speaking a little bit more CT-sided than it is T-sided. And that's with losing pistol as well. And they didn't make dumb mistakes. They didn't have players taking peaks that they shouldn't be taking. You know, playing selfishly and whatnot, and just kind of, like, honestly playing for stats, right? In certain, you know, opportunities and areas of the round. And each one of their members stepped up at crucial moments and crucial times. And that was, like, that was as good of a half as you can ask for on that, you know, on T-side Mirage with losing pistol. So it was very well played by Misfits.
Yeah, and over on the Renegades, certainly trying to impact on their own regard here, but a lot of that, pretty much all of it, actually coming from Azur and the success that we did see. Ends up with 131 ADR for the first half, and meanwhile, over on the Misfits camp, it's a lot more even, spread across pretty much all of their teammates, except for Sean, who went a little bit more quieter in this map comparatively to what we saw back on Train, where he clutched out like 3 or 4 different rounds, I think, for his team. 2 big ones, specifically on the pistol, and on the last round, which actually secured the map for them. Just waiting for the players to ready up now, and then we are going to indeed jump into the second half. And we'll get to see Misfits, I think, won both pistols on the last map, so far dropping the first one here. So if they can bring the strength back that we did see over in the first map and are able to close out on this one, then that can set them up for victory once again, just like we had on the last map, granted, but that's also where we saw Renegades rounding the huge comeback to take it up to 15-15 and then send it to OT. So in reality, based off of our last map's results, anything could happen here. And we're just going to have to wait and see as the Renegades do something a little bit more interesting with their initial buy here. Same for Misfits, as they have a bit more spread out purchases, but the more interesting that you want to focus on the Renegade side is going to be that raid boss buy they did for Azur. So giving him a Tech 9 armor, as the Tech 9 is donated over to him. And they're going to give him a little bit of extra firepower to hopefully work with if they end up following through on this B push.
Yeah, so 1 player watching top mid with bomb, 2 A halls, 1 underpass, 1 B. They can really take it anywhere here. The 2 A halls thing is a little bit odd, right?
Yeah, as they've got them.
What do they plan to do with that?
Holding here. Right now, it seems like just They were expecting Misfits to get aggressive, and they wanted to counter that based on the way everybody's setting up, but Misfits went for a pretty normal setup for CTs here.
Yeah, I mean, they basically have everything covered because nobody pushes A ramp.
Yeah.
On pistol, like, pushes all the way down. It almost never happens.
So it is looking like they're going to fall back into just a more default A setup after everything devolves from that 3-2 split they had going. All the B players falling back now to regroup over here towards a ramp. And I think the Palace guys, except for, I think Nifty is moving out to regroup with everybody else. So more likely going to end up in like a standard push. But no one on B got aggressive, so it's still going to be only 3 players waiting in this A site trying to defend it there. And the bomb just going to come in a little bit late, but they're ready to deploy. So smokes are going to start to get tossed in along with flashbangs, and then they'll go to try to support themselves as much as they can with their own utility here. Devo just firing back. The smoke just goes a little bit further back, but Sick hiding in Sandwich, able to get 1 kill before going down. Shazam also picking up 2 now from underneath the platform, and the call just doesn't come out, so he escapes with the 3rd one too. Now it's just on JKS. He's going to have to ace this along with Plant the Bomb, and only 7 seconds remaining. Almanac knows this, so he's rolling back up quickly. JKS trying to swing around and recover, but out of ammo. Now it's to go for the reload. Getting pushed from the other side, and he can't recover quickly enough. So Sean is going to take him down, and Misfits will be able to pick up their pistol, making it 3 out of 4 for the night.
Another miss smoke for Renegades. I was assuming the A ramp smokes were miss smokes. I think there was 3 of them that looked like they were miss smokes. But yeah, that was an absolute 100% botch smoke on CT spawn. And Shazam hits some nutter. This shot's nutty. That's a great shot.
Yeah, and he's just allowed to.
I'm telling you, those pistols are one of the best in NA for sure.
So off of that, that could very well carry Misfits through to a bit of a dominant scoreline. Obviously not going to be as certain as it was back on the last map there. But still the ability to, at the very least, have that cushion once more and buy themselves a lot more time to close out on this map. And well, Shazam's got to be a little bit careful here. Thankfully, he backs away from the window just in time. As there's a full 5-man stack from the Renegades waiting out in this position, as they are just basically trying to save up for the next round here. Normally, you'd expect to see like a smoke buy coming up behind this or something else, but not going to be the case this time. And so far, the only one seen been able to impact was JKS with the Deagle. Nexus sneaks in one with the Glock, however, trying to do more, but Sick just leaps out, finishing him off. And for JKS, when he finally takes another duel, it is the Misfits, specifically Sean Garris, that closes out on him pretty quickly, and they push up on their 12th round.
Yeah, and 2 kills isn't bad at all. If I'm Sean here, I'd probably buy an op. There we go. I love it. This is, I'm telling you, this is like a round-winning play, just having this opper, have an op on this 3rd round versus AKs. It's like one of my favorite plays.
It's looking like the Renegades are going to try to go for mid-control too, so a lot of room for that to come into effectiveness. More than likely, Shazam probably going to get smoked off at first, but he can readjust and try to get into a better spot. After that, however, Almanac got really aggressive inside of Palace. He's got the smoke, and what you will note too, if you haven't already seen it, is that the bomb was dropped in killing this first player. So they just got a massive advantage off of a huge swing play. They are going to have to be careful, of course, with the aggression coming back in through connector, but you still leaves his head in the open, although missed shot from Shazam first off doesn't seem to matter, though. Just casually re-peeks in for a 2nd time, pops off the head of Ustillo, and just like that, we're in a 5v3.
I'm not sure how you can around here if you're Renegades.
Azar now even just
seems impossible.
Having to go back outside of jungle, picked off again by Shazam as he's up to 2. And with the smokes finally fading away outside of Palace, Devoduvic just runs over JKS. Nexa sneaking in, gets a small victory and taking out Sean, but dinked in doing so. So dropped to 9 HP. There's not a whole lot that he can do. So he will need to try and fall back and reposition to try and pick up another kill. It's not going to happen this time, however.
That's more than you could ever ask for on a Halls push. You get a kill, even towards like the end of Halls near T spawn, and you get the bomb. You upgrade your gun to an AK from an ump. You just smoke off the choke point. I mean, that was a dream scenario for Misfits.
Yeah, and now, well, the Renegades are going to have to go essentially full eco territory here with just a few upgraded pistols. 2 Deagles for JKS and Azure and a single P250 on Ustillo, and they're not really going to be able to do anything more complex than just more than likely a straightforward play over towards the A bomb site. Devo and Sick are here to defend it right now. They can have Shazam back out of jungle in just a moment's notice to be able to help with that. May have to be a little bit careful since everybody's probably going to push it once, so there's the risk of, you know, both Sick and Devo Duvet kind of getting overwhelmed. But besides that, This should be a relatively low pressure round as the flashbang goes in. Sick peeking into it, gets that first kill, swinging to the other side for a second. Shazam's back in this battle too. Azure did take down Devo Duvek, and JKS is going to be able to snipe out Sick. But that second kill, in theory, should be the only one that he can escape with unless he lined up the headshot there. But nope, Shazam is on point right now. And he'll get another 2K, bring his team up to 14 rounds.
Yeah, 21 and 12 for Shazam. Sick holds the triple box against.
Basically does exactly what he needs to in this round here. So, quick closeout for him, and now this is the definitive round, which could decide this map, essentially, as the Renegades be broken down again after this one and forced onto their half-buy. And we saw, obviously without armor or anything like that, but we saw realistically how that would go based on the last round. Nifty taking the duel versus Shazam at this point in time. Probably not the wisest decision. Sick also moving himself down right outside of the underpass to be able to punish Azure, although that one's a little bit more short-lived. Nexa gets himself into a position to trade that one back out, and now JKS sneaking in. I don't know if he's spotted Devo Duvek just as of yet, but the Molly's going to move in. Op tags JKS regardless, but JKS still comes out on top. Able to trace Devo Duvek when he jumps back up on top of Ticket Booth there. And another kill also rolling out here for JKS too, up to a second one now for himself. As he takes down Sean, we still have everybody else from the Misfits trying to rotate back over, but Shazam specifically has to be very, very careful. He didn't even realize it, but there's another player waiting for him inside of ladder room and doesn't even check for it. So Ustillo satisfied with that kill. Now they can just send the bomb right back over to the other site. Obviously, Ominex traded on JKS, but that's of little consequences. They're just going back to a B play now.
Yeah, smart rotation with the bomb from Renegades. Realizing that that player rotated off B towards A, and B was open, and then once you kill Shazam on cap, you know the site's going to be open. So you just run up, get the bomb down. Almanek in a very difficult spot. It's planted default. Nexa also has a Molotov. And this bench kill is really tough to get.
The Op's still sitting down on his left. He just wants to grab that and save instead. But still being cautious of like ladder room pressure. The Molly's going to move in, completely blocks off his path. He does have a kit actually, but he has no utility to get back into the site with. So really, I think just posting up to try and find someone exiting through the apartments, which he might be able to get. Tags one, but he's going to miss the chance to re-peek and actually fully kill him. So
yeah, I mean, your only win condition there, if you're Almanek, is that they just start peeking you, like both of them. Even if just one of them peeks you on Cat and you kill him, you're probably not going to win the round just because there's not much time. You have no idea where he is. It's really easy to just play like Ring Around the Rosie if you're the T on post plant in that situation when you know the guy's coming Cat. So he has one win condition, and that's if like Misfits just start peeking, or sorry, Renegades start peeking you for no reason.
Yeah, Almanek had built up so much cash off of these last few rounds, though, so he is able to donate over, I think, like 2 or 3 guns total in this round here. That's Devo, Sick, and Shazam are all using guns that are not their own. Shazam, though, right back into hitting his own shots here, catches JKS pushing out of the ramp early on. And just like that, another 5v4 advantage for the Misfits here. And they're even being cautious, moving through, like, underpass. Azure, as you can see, is cautious of someone like Sick jumping into that play again. Ustillo's looking for a position that Sick was playing at, though, so he's got to be careful, and he does indeed move back further into the site. That'll give mid-control away into the favor of the Renegades. Still need to try and move it onto his site, as he still is up on top of the railing, ready to jump inside of the ladder room. Sick again kind of backing up, but he is going to reinitiate himself inside of the murder hole here, looking to take that duel versus Ustillo. Spots him and immediately goes for the headshot. Cuts it off of him. 5v3, now 5v2 advantage to the Misfits. As at the moment, they just they continue to try to play this like really sneakily, but or stealthily would probably be the more appropriate word. But unfortunately, they just continue to walk into situations where they're just going to get completely outmatched, outangled, and overall lead themselves dead without anyone to trade it back out. Even the nades connecting onto Nexa here now, as he still holds a position with the bomb in hand. The Nifty looks for an entry back over there on the catwalk itself, but can't get it going. And Sean and Shazam just hit those last 2 shots, push Misfits up to map point.
And Renegades is broke.
Nothing to work with, really, besides just another half-buy round here going into what will very likely end up being the last round. Bits of utility, too, but at the moment, very direct to start the round off. The bomb is sitting back, but I think that was only to deploy the mid-window smoke. Everybody else is going up to ramp. Probably pretty quick execute after this molly. Everything else goes away. But the track record for A defense has been pretty good so far in this half. So this is going to be a rough attempt to push in if they do just go right for this. You can see Again, those few smokes that were bought up now being tossed back in, and actually good job blocking it off. Shazam got hit by a flashbang too. He's down at 2 HP. Still to peek back in and get one. It's now 4-1 on the trades as there's a last minute alive, and nothing else going to get done there. So the Misfits do indeed close out in a much more clean fashion than we did see over on Train, of course. But they're going to be able to take it 2-0 and be able to claim that second map. Now taking it 2-0 for the evening.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, I would have thought that Renegades was going to be the superior team, but the French pickups and Peacemaker seems to be making a difference for Misfits. They probably should have won that without giving up more than 10 rounds total. In the best of 3, which should have won it like, you know, 32-10 max, giving up 10 rounds max. And they played extremely well and way different on Mirage. They didn't take it for granted that they were up numbers and had a huge lead or anything. They kept, you know, showing respect to their opponent and looked like they learned a bit from their mistakes on Train, and that's what I like to see.
All right, well, let's send it back over to the analysts now to get their closing thoughts on the second one and see, obviously, a much improved Misfits for that second map.
Yeah. I think that's the easiest way to put it, right? Much improved from what we saw on Train, at least for the second half of Train.
Yeah, you know, no slow start even in the first map. But definitely feeling like they got a lot of the kinks and a lot of the bugs worked out going into the second one. Yeah,
definitely did. And again, you know, not something mind-blowing in terms of their approach as to what they wanted to do on T set of Mirage. But the good thing is, I think they removed the biggest errors, you know, individual errors in that sense, you know, like simple overpeaks and that kind of stuff, and just kind of going out on their own adventure instead of sticking with the team and doing what you're supposed to do and what's been planned out for the round. I think that massively helped them. Also think the fact that Renegades, you know, I'm not, you know, a guy who will say no to aggression on CT sides, but I think at times Renegades overdo it to try to find that initial pick, and at times it comes back to bite them. We saw Ustila didn't have too much success with it initially. He had at the very first spy rounds and that kind of stuff, but afterwards it kind of faded how effective it was, and Misfits were definitely aware of it for the better part of that half.
Well, let's take a look now at round 10. We do have a replay loaded up for you guys at home.
Yeah, this is actually a really, really cool round from Misfits and probably like the most technical strategy that we've seen out of them. So initially they're going to start off the round by throwing a bunch of nades over towards the B bomb site, which again is going to prompt a response from Renegades, leading them to think it's going to be a B split. You can already see like some light rotations happening over towards the side, but obviously as Nifty goes aggressive, doesn't see anyone, that makes it fall back. But then a minute later, Misfits re-aggress actually here over towards B, sending us down 2 more smokes, and again, this is just going to create a massive over-rotation for Renegades because it's late into the round. They've already faked once, so we don't expect 2 fakes on the same B bomb site from the same round, and that allows for the rest of Misfits, the 3 other players towards that A bomb site to basically just overrun JKS. And Amanek just being sneaky snake, jumping down through windows, getting up onto catwalk. Doesn't get the kill on the guy in CPL, but you know, still does his part, just maintaining or keeping the rotation from coming in time, denying any sort of bomb plants and that kind of stuff. So just a very solid fake being brought out from Misfits, and that's definitely something we didn't see on their T side of Train.
Well, I think it's very important because we kind of honed in on the storyline of how important this was to the Misfits going into this matchup.
It's a must-win. Like, if they didn't win these 2, they'd be gone.
Oh, they would, even losing one of them, they're out of the playoff contention. But let's pull up the standings now and kind of reevaluate and reassess what's going on here in the NA side.
Well, look at the jump that Misfits makes from that 10th spot with those 2 wins. Actually skips past Renegades. That's how massive those 2 wins were for them. And, well, now they're, you know, only 1 win behind of Optic. There's plenty of opportunities for the teams ahead of Misfits at this point, you know, to slip up. And that's, again, we talked about it. Misfits kind of have to hope for that being the scenario as well. But at least for now, they're doing the job that they're supposed to do.
Well, even jumping up really quickly past the CLG, or even more so, Luminosity, a team that we thought was heading on to the playoffs there for a little bit. They were on a hot streak. It was
they were looking good.
But all in all, 2 very, very important wins here for the Misfits. And congratulations to them on their path. I hope they continue to find the success that they're looking for.
Yeah, and I will say I'm liking, much more liking what we see out of the team now than what we saw in the past with the old squad in terms of like people having more defined roles. It seems like Amanek being that secondary opper, Devedek just kind of throwing his body at people. I'm liking that. I think that has potential.
Okay, well, that does it for Misfits and Renegades. We're going to switch it over to Cloud9 and Luminosity, but we're going to be going to a short commercial break. And in case you missed that last matchup, make sure you head to youtube.com/ESLCS, where you can also find our gleaming faces coming back at you with the next doubleheader.